we of course attended one of your presentations yesterday, which was quite phenomenal actually, I must say. And there, one topic which came up was this was already discounted. After the event to say this has been discounted.
Yeah.
What's your call on that?
So my thinking is that nothing is discounted. If you look at the companies that are doing well today in India or in the world, let's say Google. Now, 3 years ago, what would you have said about Google? It's a good company, it has search dominance. Today also you'll say it has search dominance. In between, once in a while, you'll say, no, is that search dominance on phone or is it on computer? Okay, a little bit there. But let's come to India. You see these private sector banks. Now, of course, we have again broken them into two private sector banks which were lending to retail. But let's talk about the retail.
Yes.
What has changed? 3 years ago, we would have said HDFC Bank is private sector, it competes with public sector, it has good employees, it can motivate. Now also you're saying the same thing. Although earnings has gone from a 30% compounding to 20%.
20%, yes.
But because 20 also is a good number relative to our market or any market. So what I mean is that for a day or two, some negative news, for a day or two, positive news, I agree, can be discounted. But a good company which is growing 20-30% per annum, you cannot discount it so easily unless you feel, and this is what we use in our thing, that in the previous 2-3 years, some period, whatever you define or look at different periods, if you feel that the stock price has gone up much, much more than the earnings. But in most of these private sector banks, at least I feel that mostly they go up in line. If you look at annualized return from these stocks and the annualized earnings growth of these stocks for the last 5-7 years, more or less they'll be similar. But there are many examples where because of what happened in 2014, where everybody who bought mid-cap suddenly thought that he's God's gift to the mid-cap world. There the stocks went up, say, 60% per annum and earnings were growing 20-30% per annum, which was a good number. But those stocks we sold and we would think that that difference is easy to see. But otherwise, I don't think anything is discounted.
But you will never sell an HDFC Bank? I mean,
no,
the earnings growth has come down from 30% to 20%.
No,
it won't generate
I will sell one day when it disappoints, but properly disappoint on some issue. But the point is that it will not fall a lot according to me. Because new people will come in and say, this is my one shot, so I will get a chance to evaluate that day. I'm not saying that I will never evaluate it, but there is no need for me to preempt any such thing because they are on a good track, good wicket. And it's not one company. I deliberately always use HDFC Bank example because anyway the whole world knows that I own it. But we want to own similar companies, not of this consistency because we've not found, but similar companies where you feel there is high confidence that you make a reasonably good return. You will not make the highest possible return, but the confidence is higher on making a good return.
Okay, the other anomaly in the market right now is, and we keep discussing this, is when we were talking about it yesterday, Samir, is about, say, the Tata Motors versus DVR, and there are a couple of more DVRs. Historically, Google's DVR is trading at par with Google. In fact, at times trades at a premium. Now we have the Tata Motors DVR also being part of the Nifty also. Still there's a discount of 30-35%. What is that explaining about the Indian market?
Explain. According to me, it doesn't explain anything because this means that Indian corporate governance is higher than US because we as a market are valuing the vote so much, not realizing that in other companies we've never voted.
Yes.
We don't own either the motor or DVR for different reasons. But in general, I would say this is, in a sense, the Indian markets they believe that the vote is so important, which I don't think it is in an Indian context.
Okay. So that's of course the Tata Motors.
Nobody was listening to you anyway. I mean, nobody was bothered about your vote anyway, so whether you have a vote or not,
anyway, it's a Tata Group company, right? I mean, so it's
but this makes it even worse, as if the Tata Motors have the worst.
Exactly.
That they will misuse.
So,
I agree with that, although again I said I don't own the stock.
Okay, you don't own the stock. So, Samir, of course we discussed markets yesterday as well, but, there's some global headwinds which are emerging now. Again, some noise on Fed hiking rate in June. The minutes were quite hawkish.
Correct.
Do you think that could change things a bit going forward?
In the very short term, it could, because I think if they have to do a hike, they have to do it in June now. Although the probability at least day before was 35% or something. I don't know what happened yesterday. Right now it is because after that, I'm not sure whether they formally accept it, but it will come very close to the election time and somebody will say that you try to help A versus B. So I think June there is a little bit of a probability, yes.
Would would
Based on their language only.
yeah,
not mine.
no, I take your point. But if we have a fall, say 10 to 20% fall in emerging markets or in India because of a rate hike from Fed, do you think that will be more of a buying opportunity?
Please. 10 to 20%.
Okay, let's say
is
in
not a
certain
normal fall. 10 to 20% would be a major negative. I would think that
10% would just take us back to the previous lows.
yeah, but I don't believe that we deserve the previous
Okay,
lows.
let's say
because
5%.
Our,
Let's put 5%.
5% can happen. Already 1.5 happened yesterday along with currency.
Yes.
No, I think it's generally a good opportunity because India cyclically is turning. And that is the key part, that rains have to come. More
Yes.
important than what happens in US. So rains have to come, and the earnings already seeing, by the way, if you see the earnings of this quarter,
Yes.
if you do non-financial, ex-financials, the earnings was not bad. And in financial it is bad. Clearly we know why it is bad. It is bad because of provisions made by state-owned banks and written off and provisions. So that is known and separate. But if you look at the ex-financials, I read in a report some 50% of the companies that reported by that time, and the earnings growth was 15%. And with financials was some 8-9%. But that also is known what is the issue. And so if and all the indicators are up, MHCV sales and power and airport business and ports handled, cargo handled. So I am very okay bullish. I am not negative.
A lot of your bullishness is premised on rains being good.
Yes, rains are
Right. We've had two bad years of monsoon. Now we could have a bad year of monsoon, right? I mean, hope is not a data point.
No. It is a data point because it's been raining in Singapore for the last few days. There also there was serious water.
Here in Thailand, it's raining.
Yeah, and the main thing is that now we have actually it's already rained in Chennai. So why we have hope? And when two agencies, whether they have track record, I don't know, generally Met and SkyMet or whatever, I mean Indian department, they are also saying you are only 1 or 2 or 5 days away. Clouds are already there. No, it won't rain. Why it won't rain? It will rain. It should rain, and we will pray that it rains.
Yeah, we should, of course. It's good for everyone, I mean, for the economy overall. But Samir, let's talk about some more issues about your life. Any regrets about, the way things turned out with Alliance and the fact that, then you and the partners had to start Helios?
By the way, I must tell you that my Helios partners are Alliance people. So the Helios is not owned by me alone, by 3 people.
Yes.
The other person was the chairman and CEO of Alliance.
Yes.
And the third person was the chairman of Alliance India.
Yes.
So with Alliance, it is the old guys who knew what was happening, and they are the partners. So there no regret relative to Alliance.
Yeah.
Otherwise, of course, it was a tough thing what happened between Alliance and Helios. But much worse things have happened to many other people who deserve it less. So now that it is over and been a happy ending and our fund has done well, and we've got from my previous life, these 2 partners. So for the world, I can say that insiders are there who knew, and so it's okay.
So, we went through a brutal fall of 2008 where your fund also took a big hit.
Yeah, big hit.
I mean, of course, it was massive. I mean, financial world got turned upside down. Have you recovered enough? I mean, or have you gone back to the peak?
No,
where are you right now?
So what happened in 2008 was very bad for us. It was bad in line with others, but it was much worse for us because we are supposed to be shorting stocks and protecting more.
Yes.
But because of changes in the laws where for 7-8 months you could not short because you had to go from being a P-note owner to FII, which is what we are now. So for 7-8 months you couldn't short stocks. So in performance, we have well and truly recovered. But the AUMs have not recovered because in 5, 6, 7 it was like top of the world. But we have recovered enough to be able to have a credible story with the investor that over 10 years, with or without aid, we are pretty good.
Let's end the show by talking about some light things, Samir. What's your favorite holiday destination? Is it Europe? I mean, someone told me that you like Europe a lot.
No, I don't like, but 3 consecutive years we are doing Europe, including this year. So Europe is good, but I think next year I am going to go to US because Europe now 3 years, mostly every country has been covered. Not every place, but 3 in a row is good enough, but it's very good. Of course, Europe is very good.
I am feeling jealous because I know you're going to watch the French Open final. So, who's your favorite player?
And I'm going to see women's final and men's final
Okay.
and men's doubles final.
Okay, so who's your favorite
I
women's
don't-
player?
all I don't
Who's your
want
favorite men's player?
I want, but he's not going to win. I think I want Nadal to win,
Same here.
but he's not going to win. And I don't.
Why
want,
do you say that?
No, I don't know. But recently he's not done well.
Yes.
We just don't
But he's
want.
picked up. He's picked up.
We just don't want a 3-setter and 6-1, 6-1 again. The Japanese
Again.
guy or somebody.
Nishikori.
We want a regular match because this is the first time they see.
Samir, we really wish that you stay like this. You know, you're a charming personality. Always a pleasure talking to you. And you know, while we are ending the show, we are ending the show by showing you the cheerful side of Samir's personality. Of course, he's always cheerful, but the most cheerful side. We went to a cruise and Samir Arora danced to some Punjabi music. So here are some shots of Samir Arora dancing to Punjabi music. It was great fun bringing the show with Samir Arora. We're calling it Samir Arora Unplugged. Thanks a lot for watching this.